Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the emergency management flight for the 812 Civil Engineer Squadron's Change of Command ceremony, at which Lieutenant Colonel Adam Burwinkle will relinquish command of the 812 Civil Engineer Squadron to Major Ryan Price. I am Technical Sergeant Lavoie, and I am honored to serve as your narrator for today's ceremony. For the purpose of military protocol, this is an indoor ceremony. Military members will stand at attention during the national anthem and will not salute. We invite our civilian guests to participate by standing and placing their right hands over their hearts. The presiding official for today's ceremony is Mr. James Judkins, Director, 412 Civil Engineer Group. Before we begin, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the distinguished and special guests in attendance. Please hold your applause till everyone has been introduced. Lieutenant Colonel Adam Burwinkle's 812 CE family, here or joining us virtually. Major Price's family, his wife Kristen Henley Price and daughter Emma, who are watching virtually. His son Liam, in attendance in the audience, and his parents Richard and Brenda, who are attending the audience. I would also like to welcome our senior leaders in attendance from the 412 Test Wing. Colonel Dominic Clements, Acting Commander. Chief Master Sergeant Denisha Ward Swanigan, Command Chief, Master Sergeant. We welcome all group and squadron commanders, directors, friends, and coworkers in attendance today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for all of our distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It's my great pleasure to introduce Mr. James Judkins, Director, 412 Civil Engineer Group.
I wasn't expecting that. I enlisted in the Air Force in 1970, and I've been to 100, if not one, of these change of command ceremonies. And so you probably expect me to mention Frederick the Great and the importance of passing the guide on. You expect me to talk about Colonel Adam Burwinkle's career and his career accomplishments and his accomplishments here, as a commander. You probably expect me to mention or address Major Ryan Price's career and how it qualifies him to be commander of the 812 Civil Engineering Squadron. Well, here's your warning. I'm not going to do that. General Higer, welcome virtually to this change of command ceremony. Your presence honors. We are honored to have you here, sir. Colonel Clements, Chief Warden Swanigan, Colonel Harris, Chief, thank you for coming. Fellow commanders, directors, and civilian teammates, your presence here honors the 812 Civil Engineering Squadron, and I'm glad you're here. Putting together a function like this is always a lot harder than it looks. And I'd like to thank everyone who played a role in making it happen, to include PA, to include the 812 CES, to include the 412 CES, basically everybody who made it happen. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'd also like to highlight Master Sergeant Dula, who officially retired yesterday, but he's on terminal leave, so he's still, where are you? He's still on active duty. He will be passing the guide on for us. Sergeant Lavoie, help me. Lavoie, thank you. Tech Sergeant Lavoie. Okay, Senior Airman Karaskilo and Senior Airman Bean for making things happen today. When I think of the Air Force, I think of people. And when I think of a squadron, I don't think of equipment. I think of people operating equipment. And those people are a gift, if you will, to the Air Force. And a commander's responsibility, a leader's responsibility, is to care and feed those people, figuratively speaking. You need to train them. You need to encourage them. Sometimes you need to chastise them, and sometimes punish, and, if necessary, help them out the door with dignity. Leadership makes all the difference, and Adam Burwinkle, you've been superb. The long blue line of commanders stretches back to infinity. It was gray at one time, is now blue for us. I used to be part of that blue line, and now I watch it, and I will tell you that the commander or the leader makes all the difference to an organization. You're always on stage. You need to be decisive at the right time. You need to be sincere, and you need to be transparent, and this is something that a lot of people don't get, you need to be able to communicate your intent and then free your teammates to implement that intent and help them when they astray, but don't give them too much HEP. Tell him what HEP is later. Okay. So Ryan, if you find me giving you HEP, let me know. You won't hurt my feelings. But back to you, Adam. You've done an absolutely stupendous job as part of the long blue line. A 2-year command seems long at the time. Okay, I'm looking for some support here. Seems long at the time. The days are a grind. You oftentimes spend, they always say 80%, my experience was 80% of my time on the problems. You're exhausted at the end of the day. Okay, you will come upon a surprise. You'll find that Rubicon that Caesar found in 49 BC, and you're going to have to make some decisions that will outlive your tour as a commander. It's important that you keep that in mind, because once you leave, you will leave people behind who will then remember you and your decisions will impact your organization's future. Adam, again, you've done a stupendous job. Colonel Burwinkle reminded me just before this ceremony of something I said about 2 years ago. I happen to believe that you measure a commander or a leader's commitment to the mission by how hard they are working at the end of the tour, not at the beginning. Commanders come in, they're all full of energy, they're going to do a lot of great things, and then they start to tail off. I see some head nods at the end. Adam, that was not you. You ran that 400-meter right up to the very end, and I want to say thank you. Again, a stupendous job. I just noticed something in the audience I would like to apologize for. There are 2 individuals here from my generation, okay, Brenda and Richard Price, okay. Richard is Ryan's father, and he's a Vietnam vet from a generation that didn't get a whole lot of thank you for your services when they came back from Vietnam. And so I'd just like to say thank you for your service. I spent, about 2 hours with Major Price the other day, right? In fact, I probably kept you late and you were late getting home to the kiddos. And I can tell you, based upon Ryan's experience and my read of his personality, that he has all the right characteristics. He knows how to take care of people, okay? He knows about commander's intent. He knows how to look to the future. He knows how to be consistent. He knows he's on stage all the time. And I can tell you, he's going to work hard right up to the very end. So, Ryan, welcome to the Civil Engineering Group family, and welcome to command of the 812th Civil Engineering Squadron.
Thank you, Mr. Judkins. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Judkins will now present the Meritorious Service Medal to Lieutenant Colonel Burwinkle. Please stand. Attention to orders. Lieutenant Colonel Adam Burwinkle distinguished himself in performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 812th Civil Engineer Squadron, 412 Civil Engineer Group, 412 Test Wing, Edwards Air Force Base, California. During this period, Lieutenant Colonel Burwinkle served as the Test Wing's Emergency Operations Center Director for 5 major incidents, including 2 aircraft crashes, a 30-year storm event, a dormitory fire, and the public health emergency as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Additionally, he successfully secured and maintained a lodging facility transfer from government contract to base real property to create a quarantine facility. His quick action enabled the development of testing sites, the installation, vaccine center, and the establishment of screening operations to limit the virus's spread and impact to the test wing mission. Furthermore, Colonel Burwinkle aligned the squadron's efforts with the Chief of Staff of the Air Force's priorities and led a readiness program resulting in over 10 unit and combined mission partner exercises aimed at preparing the wing for incidents including hazardous materials, major aircraft incidents, chemical weapons, homemade explosives, and spacecraft support. In similar fashion, he organized the base's humanitarian assistance team and supported 9 fellow commanders as they led their organizations through the loss of members. Lastly, his squadron was identified as highly performing following a test wing inspection. The singular distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel Burwinkle reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Burwinkle to the stand.
Okay. General Heiger, Colonel Clements, Chief Master Sergeant Mort Swanigan, Mr. Judkins, Colonel Harris as well, members of 412 Civil Engineer Group, fellow squadron commanders, folks watching virtually, friends, and most importantly, members of the 812th. Thank you for attending today. General Heiger, sir, I thank you for your exemplary leadership. I'm so grateful for the trust and faith you've shown in our team and myself for the last 2 years. Colonel Clements, from Kuwait to Edwards, thank you for your leadership as well and your confidence. Mr. Judkins, thank you, sir, for those kind words. Any achievement of the 812th in the last 2 years is due to the men and women of the team, not to myself. I sincerely appreciate the mentorship, guidance, and leadership you've shown me over the last 2 years. To my fellow Civil Engineer Group members, I could not have asked for more camaraderie and support. Thank you. To the 812 Civil Engineer Squadron, this unit is full of great airmen without whom the group and test wing's mission would not happen. These last 2 years, our team has been recognized at the group, wing, MAJCOM, Air Force, and federal agency level for the amazing support you provide every day. All the more impressive as you achieve that as tests don't rest. I could not have been more proud to have the opportunity to lead this outstanding organization in what we have called these unprecedented times. Ryan, welcome to you, Kristen, Liam, and Emma. You're taking over an excellent team. Lead them, trust them, follow them. I know you will achieve even more in the next 2 years. Good luck. And thank you all the folks who helped put this together, as Mr. Judkins mentioned. And thank you to EM for hosting. Thank you all for attending today's ceremony, and thanks for protecting the future of flight. It's been an honor being your commander. Sit down.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Burwinkle. Mr. Judkins, Major Price, and Lieutenant Colonel Burwinkle, please join us at center stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed with the 812 Civil Engineer Squadron Change of Command. Please stand. Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force Headquarters, United States Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number GO22 Tech 13, dated 15 June 2022. Under the provision of the Air Force Instruction 51 Tech 509, by order of Lieutenant Colonel Dominic P. Clements, Commander Fortel Test Wing, Lieutenant Colonel Adam W. Burwinkle relinquishes command, and Major Ryan T. Price assumes command as Commander 812 Civil Engineer Squadron, effective 24 June 2022.
I assume command.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Major Ryan Price, Commander 812 Civil Engineer Squadron.
All right. Thank you all for a warm Edwards welcome. Thank you to Brigadier General Higer and Colonel Clements for your attendance, and everyone here today, both in attendance and virtually. Thank you for the team for putting this together, and EM for hosting. I would be remiss if I did not also thank my family, my wife Kristen, son Liam, daughter Emma, my mom and dad. Thank you for coming. You have provided me tremendous support and encouragement through the years, and are a big part of the reason why I stand before you today. Brigadier General Higer, Mr. Judkins, I'm especially grateful for your trust and confidence with giving me the opportunity to lead this proud squadron. I can't wait to get started and build on the successes of commanders that have come before me. Lieutenant Colonel Burwinkle, you will be a tough act to follow. There's a saying I often like to use: we drink from wells we did not dig, and sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. I thank you for the great transition and turning over a highly performing squadron. Best of luck to you as you take command and become the base civil engineer at Davis-Monthan. To the 812th Civil Engineer Squadron, I'm truly humbled to stand before you today and lead engineers that support and protect the future of flight. I look forward to being part of your many successes and accomplishments. Thank you all again for taking the time away from your busy schedules and attending this ceremony. Fight's on. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Price. Major Price, Mrs. Price, the men and women of the 812 Civil Engineer Squadron welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join us in singing the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. You are now invited to congratulate Major and Mrs. Price in the receiving line at the back of the room. We ask that you please remain in place until our distinguished visitors have departed. Thank you for attending and have a great Air Force Day.
Fourth of June Town Hall. We're excited today to bring you a number of topics of events going on around the base, and also field questions that you might submit via text. We're standing by. You see the text number there on your screen. So any questions you'd like us to try to address, please send them our way. So Chief, how's your week been?
Oh, thanks for asking, sir. It's a short week, of course, after the Juneteenth holiday, and I had the pleasure and honor of attending Thursday's event that our African Heritage Association folks put on. So leading into that 4-day weekend and then coming in this week, it's just been a good week. And along with that, I've also had the opportunity to attend some of the events around the base. We had our Pride Committee do a panel this week, and I got the opportunity to go over there and learn some things about LGBTQ+, and we just had a really good dialogue with the panel. Of course, it's Change of Command season, and so we're still, running hard with those. And then an interesting fact that came out from our MSG was, a did you know or FYI kind of thing was the fact that the commissary is open on holidays, not all holidays, 362 days a year. And so the only exceptions to them being open are Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's. So I thought that was a gee whiz for everybody because I wasn't tracking that.
I wasn't either, and it actually came up in discussion in our household over the weekend.
Right.
When some of my children wanted to know whether or not it was open. So where did we go? We checked the app.
That's right.
And the app showed that it was open, so they went by. But it's not a common known fact, I think.
Right. I don't think many
that they're
people are
open
tracking.
all but 3 days a year. So that's a
true.
good community service announcement for sure.
Yes, sir. So other than that, it's just been a good week. We had an awesome Below the Zone panel this morning, or board rather, and some awesome nominees that came through to compete for that. And I would say I've just had a good week. So what about your week?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very good week. As we were stepping in here, it's hard to believe we're this far along in June already. And how time flies when you're having fun, I think, is maybe the best way to kind of sum up the past couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And then having shorter weeks with the family days and the holidays, federal holidays, also makes the weeks go quick. So
I would agree.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
But they've been action-packed here at Edwards, and we would like to highlight a couple of our Warriors of the Week. We have in the studio with us today. And we have Kevin Jones from our civil engineering group, and then also from the FSS, Lindsay Dreyer as well from the arts and crafts manager. So interested in learning a little bit more about them and all the wonderful things they're doing to support Edwards Airmen and the mission sets that we have here in the test wing. So, Kevin, do you mind sharing with us what you do for airmen here at Edwards and why those accomplishments that earned some recognition for you, special recognition?
Thank you for having me, sir, Chief. Again, my name is Kevin Jones. I'm the dormitory manager. I manage 12 dorms, 311 rooms for our airmen and sailors. Things that I'm proud of as far as accomplishing. was one, improving the lighting in our 2500 series dorms. We had some areas that were pretty dark and wasn't safe for the airmen to walk around at night. So we went ahead and upgraded over 70 of our walkway lights, at an additional 10 lights as well around the 2500 complex, as well as the walkway leading from the 2423 dorm over to our DFAC. Also, we are improving as far as upgrading our furnishings. We are in the process now of installing new furnishings over in our 2517 dorm. And after that, we're working on our 2519 dorm. Hopefully, we'll get funding for that next year, and that will complete all of the upgrades as far as the furnishings in all of the dorms.
Well, that's a lot of activity going on, Kevin. So no wonder that your supervision recognized your contributions towards those improvements, which directly impact our airmen that are living in the dorms and their quality of life, right? Making it a safe, enjoyable place to call home.
Right.
So that's terrific. So, Kevin, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how long you've been working at Edwards? And really what you enjoy maybe most about your job.
I'm originally from Miami, Florida. I am a retired military, married, be 34 years the 7th of July. So,
Nice.
have a daughter. She's a junior at Sacramento State. She's just here for the summer visiting, and then she'll be back up in August. What I enjoy about what I do is just working with the airmen, just trying to pass off some knowledge and some wisdom, things that was passed on to me when I was a young airman living in the dorms. And so I enjoy interacting with those individuals.
How long have you been with us?
I've been in the dorms since 2006.
Awesome.
Shortly after I retired from the military, I came back to Edwards. So Travis was my last stop. I was stationed here, actually active duty from 91 to 99, and then went on to Incirlik, and then finished up my career at Travis, and then came back to Edwards.
Well, that's terrific, full circle. So, well, we're definitely glad to and proud to have you on the team and in the work that you're doing, and really that what you enjoy about your work is a great benefit of airmen that continue to serve, whether in an active duty capacity or as civil servants, and continue to give back to airmen and let others learn from your experiences, and help them be as successful as they can be, and really enjoy their service in the Air Force. So thanks for all that you've done, Kevin. Appreciate it, and thanks for sharing a little bit about yourself. Anything you'd like to add before we transition over to Lindsay?
No, sir. I'm just happy to serve.
All right. Well, we're happy to have you serve. So thanks for your service, Lindsay. So Arts and Crafts Manager. Can you tell us a little bit about your job and specifically some of those things that earned your recognition as a Warrior of the Week?
So for the last almost year and a half, I have been the manager at Arts and Crafts. We have a custom framing shop, custom engraving. We have a woodworking shop, the auto hobby shop, and we have done a lot of expansion since I have taken over. We have added a lot more crafting classes for families, paint and wine nights for couples or singles at the club twice a month. We've expanded our paint your own ceramics program. We've expanded balloons, so we offer balloon bouquets, balloon arches. We do a lot of special events space-wide and help with their decor, and just really trying to grow what our facility offers to the base personnel, but also grow our staff. and teaching them new skills and always coming up with new programming that we can offer. Since we're remote and isolated, we really want to try to offer as much as we can to those that reside on or work on Edwards.
Great, thanks. I know over the last several months, I've seen increased activity in your marketing and in those, I guess, products and services that you're providing for the community. The balloon arches, I think we saw those at the Master Sergeant.
Over at the release party.
The release party,
Yes,
yeah, beautiful work there. And so, what's the most rewarding thing about your job or your service here at Edwards?
Well, I spent the last 5 years teaching fashion design at the college, so I am a teacher at heart. So I love getting to teach my staff and train them and grow them. I love doing the classes and teaching people new skills, whether it be children or adults. So that social interaction, the people, that's really what makes me want to come in every day is what do I get to do today? Make bows with a toddler or, have paint and wine night with an adult. So, the balloons are fun, of course. Everyone gets excited when they see a nice big arch of colorful balloons. And so just that excitement and getting to share my knowledge and my expertise with those around me.
Is that your team, ma'am, that's getting ready to do the upcoming rock painting?
Yes, we have Paint a Rock next week on Tuesday. You can stop in at Building 2440 anytime from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Paint a Rock will have all the supplies out, and they can, sky's the limit as to what they would like to do. And just
What
pay.
time?
9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Awesome. Okay, I will try to get over there. My daughter and I, we paint rocks, and I see some cool rocks along the base. If you paint rocks, you recognize rocks that are painted, and so when I saw that pop up, I was like, okay, this is something that we already do, so we'll definitely try to make it over for the rock painting. So thank you.
All right. Lindsay, anything else you'd like to share about your experience here at Edwards?
And how long have you been with us?
Yeah.
Oh, I started the week of Christmas of 2020, so I've only been here about a year and a half, and it's been an adventure of a year, that's for sure. But check out the FSS facilities and activities. We're always growing and adding more programming, more options. We're trying to, especially during the summer, cater to all the kids being home and offer things for the kids especially, but in the evenings we have a lot of options for the adults. So we're trying to make ourselves well-rounded and appeal to as many people as we can, and offer also, every time we turn around, we're trying to offer a different craft or a different class, something new. So.
That's terrific. Well, thanks so much for joining us today and for sharing a little bit about your contributions here. Mm-hmm. It just amazes me every week, Chief. When you get a chance to meet and airmen from around the base, but particularly in this forum in the Warriors of the Week, of how they're contributing to the health and welfare of our airmen and which enables our airmen to contribute directly to the mission.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I appreciate them coming in and sharing their talents and skills the way that they do. It definitely helps. So yeah, that's good to have them.
That's a great way to put it. It is their talent. I mean, you can tell the passion from both Lindsay and Kevin on using their talents to help others and true enjoyment out of doing that. Right. So that's wonderful to see.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful to see. So,
awesome.
Would you like to introduce our next guest?
So I believe we have Airman Manning from the Pride Committee. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about what you do with the committee and what you do here at Edwards as well. And let's just hear your story.
Alrighty. So I'm Senior Airman Manning. I work at the 412th Medical Group. But I also serve as the Special Emphasis Program Manager for the LGBTQ+ initiative team here at Edwards. Today I'm just here to brief about Pride Month, a little bit of the history of it, and then also resources, and then our upcoming event that we have. So for the brief history, like why we celebrate Pride, Pride Month is celebrated to increase visibility of the LGBTQ plus community. The celebration was named Pride to encourage the feeling of self-affirmation, dignity, equality, and increased visibility. It started as a protest known as the Stonewall Riots of 1969, and this protest was a response to police raids of the Stonewall Inn, which was a safe haven for the LGBTQ plus community in a time when homosexual relationships were deemed illegal. Marsha P. Johnson she was a transgender woman and advocate, and she was the one that started the protest. She led that. And then about the Pride flag. So Pride flag, it was a popularized symbol of the community, and it actually came to be by a former Army soldier and San Francisco artist Gilbert Baker in 1978. The meaning of the flag: red means life, orange is healing, yellow sunlight, green nature, blue serenity, and violet is spirit. And then for Pride Month in the military, prior to 1982, same-sex relationships were criminalized by the military, and it was a cause for discharge. In the 1940s, it was classified as a mental illness, which disqualified gay men and women from serving in general. In 1993, the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy was enacted, which it allowed closeted or undisclosed members of the community to continue serving, but if that information became public or if they did disclose, they were discharged. This policy was repealed in 2011 by Congress. And then in 2013, spousal and family benefits were extended to the same-sex marriage partners of our active duty service members. In 2021, DoD Instruction 1300.28 was put into effect, which provides guidance for in-service transitions of our transgender service members. So people who are already serving in our military, if they want to transition, we do have guidance as to how we can help them do so. It allows for them to serve openly as their identified gender. And then some of the resources that I have to share, obviously, is the Equal Opportunity Office. If you're facing any sort of problems at work that you feel people are judging you or like keeping you from opportunities because of your gender identity or your sexual orientation, you can contact the Equal Opportunity Office. We also have the Military and Family Life Counseling Program, or the MFLAC. There's also Military One Source and the Military Crisis Line, which is available 24/7. Previous events that we held this month were the Pride Outreach 5K that happened on June 2nd, the Lunch and Learn, which was discussions of the LGBTQ plus representation in media, such as like movies or any sort of media that we watch. That was on June 14th. And then yesterday we actually did an LGBTQ plus experience panel where a few of the panelists, they just talked about their experiences with the community, whether they're an active part of it or if they were an ally. We also discussed what the meaning of allyship meant, and how to create a safe and inclusive space for our service members and our Big A Airmen. Our upcoming event, we're concluding our 2022 Pride Month celebration with a Pride Social on the 29th from 11 to 1300 at Arnold Park. Please join us in celebrating the power of allyship with friends, fun, food, and community. The Burger Burn is sponsored by the 412th EWG, and there's a $5 suggested donation for food. The last thing I want to bring up, one of the takeaways, I want to emphasize the importance of education when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and acceptance of all groups. Keeping yourself educated and knowledgeable allows for better understanding of these different groups. And the best way to do this is to ask questions, especially from the members of the community. If you don't understand something, or maybe you just want a little bit more information, you can always ask someone who's actually part of that community that has a little bit more knowledge and personal experience to explain it to you. And the other thing is, don't be afraid to make mistakes. if you identify someone wrong or incorrectly, as long as you correct that mistake and you're willing to learn about how to fix those mistakes, and you're willing to continue to learn from people that are part of the community, then we'll continue to see positive progress.
Thank you, Airman Manning. That was a great rundown. I was, like I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, I had the opportunity to attend the LGBTQ plus experiences panel, and much like what you just gave us today, that panel and that discussion, that dialogue was very insightful. And I appreciate you and your efforts and how you're promoting education and awareness and sharing the things that you guys are putting together so that allies and folks within that community have a space to, interact and learn more and just do things together. The same we would do with any of our other special emphasis observance type things. And so if I'm hearing you correctly, it's not the Pride Committee, it's the LGBTQ plus initiatives. Is that what you said? I want to make sure I say it correctly.
So I'm part of the initiative team on
Initiative
base,
team.
and then Miss Cisneros, she has an appointment, she won't be able to make it today, but she is the base sponsor organizer
Sounds
of
good.
Pride Month. So it's two separate things, but I
see.
work with her.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the clarification. Sir, what are your thoughts?
Great, very, very great job. A lot of information that you provided, Airman Manning, and a great presentation. I think the real takeaway is, the more you know, the better off you are, right? And there's avenues to do that, to increase your personal knowledge about the airmen you serve with.
That's
and
right.
This is a great way of doing just that. So, Airman Manning, shifting gears slightly, what do you? I mean, great job. Again, I can't overstate that. It's a lot of responsibility for a senior airman in the role that you've taken on, and it seems like you're doing a tremendous job. What do you do for the Air Force? Your AFSC, your profession. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm a 4T, which is a lab tech. I draw blood and do all the testing on the blood, urine, any other bodily fluid. The biggest impact that my job is having right now is on COVID operations. We are the ones that run all the COVID tests for base, and we worked with reserve groups and National Guard units to do their COVID testing as well. COVID has been overpowering the lab tech career field as of recently.
I imagine so. How long have you been here at Edwards?
Next February will be my third year at Edwards.
So through the pandemic, the highs and lows that we've experienced here locally, you've served as right here in our medical group.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your service in that realm as well, and sharing a little bit about yourself and the volunteer activities that you're doing on behalf of Pride, and educating, our community about airmen within our community, and making forms available for those airmen, again, to feel safe and valued.
And valued.
Right? As every airman should feel.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, was there anything else you'd like to add, Airman Manning, before you get on with your Friday afternoon?
No, nothing in particular. I hope to see everyone out at the Pride social event that we're having. It'd be great to see everyone in the community. I know since COVID is getting a little bit less busy, being able to meet people that maybe I haven't met before, and definitely getting to educate other members of our community. There's going to be a ton of the LGBT plus Pride Month team out there, so you can always ask them questions as well. I'm really excited to see everybody out there.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
So, Chief, we didn't mention some of the weather we had this past week.
Oh, how could
Right?
we forget?
Yeah, how could we forget? Saw quite a bit of lightning and, non-typical weather for Edwards,
Right.
Which usually is associated with clear blue skies and
That's right.
and a breeze.
So I think in my year stint thus far, that is only the second time that we had a continuous rain throughout the day. And so in a year's time, 2 times, it's not enough. But, so when it happens, a couple of things happen. A lot of us are like, finally, it's raining. We're out celebrating the weather and the moisture. And then the other thing that happens is there's a potential for drivers to lose all knowledge and skill about how to operate a vehicle. And so it's also a time to take caution because of the driving hazards as well as the lightning. That was a little extreme from what I saw on the news and some of the photos that people were sharing. I even saw a headline where someone lost their life while walking along the river during that thunderstorm that we had this week. So yeah, definitely, it was definitely an event.
Yes, it was. Be aware of your environment is one of the lessons I think we can take from that event.
Yes, sir.
It was refreshing to some degree, to have a bit of moisture. There were some impacts with power outages.
Yes, sir.
And so, thanks for your patience again, and thanks for our crews who worked through those elements and safely restore power as quickly as possible. A reminder to anyone as we progress through the summer months and whatever the cause may be for power outages, to please report those. And I know lots of times people will reach for maybe the social media platform they're already on and maybe try to notify friends and family that way. But if you're living in base housing, for instance, definitely encourage you to contact the housing office if you're experiencing any power outage or facility issue.
Yes, sir.
And that way the crews can get to the culprit as soon as possible and restore life as we'd like to live it. So.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Highly recommend, anything outside of Facebook, as that is not the official channels to reach the right agencies or leadership on those types of things. So
you're welcome to continue to use the text your questions, not just during town hall, but anytime.
that will,
because
if you don't know where to go, that will definitely get through to somebody.
So put that number in close reach, add it to your phone, and if there's an issue you want to make sure the command team is aware of, that's a great way to notify us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, been a busy week, but there's more excitement to come.
There is more excitement.
SOAR. I know a relatively new group here, but we have a representative or two that can tell us a little bit about the group itself,
Yes,
as
sir.
well as an activity planned here in the very near future.
They absolutely can.
All right. So who do we have with us today from SOAR?
So if I'm not mistaken, Sergeant Coker and Miss Shea are with us.
All right. Sergeant Coker and Miss Shea, thank you so much for joining us.
I know that's not your last name.
Hi, I'm Shay. I'm the adult primary for SOAR.
And I'm Sergeant Coker. I'm the military liaison for SOAR. SOAR is the Teen Resiliency Program on Edwards Air Force Base. It stands for Support, Outreach, Action, and Resilience.
That's right. SOAR is open to all teens with base access. The teens typically meet bi-weekly, whether it's for events, meetings, or their sub-clubs.
That's right. And so this Saturday, we're putting on a resiliency event that's open to anyone with access to base. So the event is the Light Up the Night Glow Run. So we encourage everybody to come out at 8:30. Thanks to our generous sponsors, we have 700 glow sticks to give out. We have 75 LED balloons for the first 75 kids. And we also have some donations from the Airman Family Readiness Center.
Yeah, so we encourage you guys to come out 8:30, grab some glow swag, and head to the photo booth. The teens work really hard to put together Love Your Selfie frames and posters.
Right, so oftentimes, whether you're a teen or an adult, you've heard something negative about yourself, and you might even have gone back and said that negative thing back to you in the mirror. And so we at SOAR and the SOAR teens want to change that narrative with you. So the teens created the selfie frames so that you can take your pictures with it and rewrite that narrative to know that you belong here or that you are the best kid ever.
Yeah, so our first responders here on base, they're going to kick off the event starting at 9:03 p.m. after TAPS is played. So we hope you guys can come out.
Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Bye.
So you will see us there. And it looks like PA has a pretty cool filter. I don't know if this what app they're using, but it appears that we have sunglasses on.
Yeah, lighten up the night.
Light up the night.
This will be a nice evening for a stroll, a bike ride, or a jog through the neighborhood here at Edwards.
Yes, sir.
And really reaffirm to all of us, but particularly our teens, about how much they are valued as family members, as community members, as our children, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Absolutely. I
looking
will be
forward
there.
to it.
Same here. So we hope to see you all out there.
All right, switching gears a little bit.
Take our filters off. So if you haven't already, please don't forget to text your questions in. The number's at the bottom of the screen. We still have plenty of time to address any concerns that might come up. So yeah, let us know what's on your minds. And until that happens, sir, I guess it's up to us to,
Well, luckily we have Shay and Sergeant Coker still in the
That's true.
In the studio here with us, where maybe we can learn a little bit more about them, or SOAR.
They did convince us
as well.
to wear those sunglasses.
They did.
So they owe us a favor.
They are pretty convincing crew for sure. So.
Do you all have any questions for us? What's on your mind these days?
You're in the hot seat, Coker.
Well, I think what's on a lot of people's minds, and I'm sure you've already addressed it, was the commissary and things being missing from shelves or from the freezer department in the commissary. But like you said, I hope that folks are getting on and raising that through appropriate channels and not just the NCO Airman page. While notoriety is always fun, it's great to have that through the correct channels.
Sure.
I would like to address some of the fun things that teens can participate with SOAR on. So they're doing a lot of different retreats. So they partner with the Teen Center often and do stuff off base. They volunteer all over, support different organizations on base. They do fundraising to provide meal kits to airmen in the dorms. They donate their time to help the First Sergeants counseled previously with the dorm dinner. So SOAR teens are really active. There's a lot of upcoming physical resiliency skills that we're focusing on for the summer. So having different yoga instructors come out to teach the teens something about yoga, having a personal trainer come out and teach them how to utilize the Mayroads gym, having somebody teach them how to work out just at the playground. And then if we can ever get a teen up at 6 a.m., we might jump on one of the FSS 5Ks.
Right, so that's one of the reasons, if I understand correctly, why the night run, because teenagers like to come out at night.
Well,
right?
they stay up late, right? So we can't, if we want them to participate, it can't be before noon during the summer. So I think that has a lot to do with why it's going to be at night. partially because of the weather too, but I think we as the older crowd are going to have a hard time staying up late enough to participate with them. But we'll be there. So they're going to owe us big after that. So yeah, thank you for that. That's a lot of different activities and information about what you all do, and so that's good to pass along. And I think you coming on here and sharing that, it's time for that update. So we appreciate having you coming out.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, sir. So it looks like we have a question. Would you like me to read it?
I'll take a stab at it. Good afternoon. It says, has there been a movement or any movement on getting our airmen assignment incentive pay? Civilians receive locality pay rate. Why can't our active duty?
So if I'm reading that correctly, they're referring to the assignment incentive pay effort that we had ongoing when I arrived here, and it had been ongoing for quite some time, and finally around the 1 year mark, we finally got an answer back to what we submitted as a request, and the answer unfortunately was no. We were denied the assignment incentive pay, and we were basically notified that the reasons didn't meet the intent of what assignment incentive pay is actually for, and so we essentially we weren't eligible. Our airmen weren't eligible for that particular incentive, and so at the moment, I can let you know that effort, that movement is over. There will be no more movement on that particular request. I am tracking that civilians, not all civilians, but some do receive locality rate. And so we are absolutely working diligently to figure out, if not assignment incentive pay, if not CONUS COLA, then what is it that we can provide for our airmen here, as Edwards is a remote and isolated location, and it being in California adds that extra layer of making this an expensive assignment. And so there are several remote and isolated locations across the DoD, specifically across the Air Force, that are having similar impacts with inflation and gas prices, grocery prices, all these other things. Our airmen who have to travel for medical procedures or visits, there's costs associated with the mileage and that. And so the Government Accountability Office did a survey of all remote and isolated installations, and they realized that the government, DoD, needed to reassess how they fund remote and isolated locations. And so in addition to them putting out that survey and getting inputs back, the Army, the remote and isolated bases for the Army, submitted some recommendations on how to update that policy that governs how they do those fundings for these locations. And so Edwards, General Heiger, and myself and the team, everyone that has a role in how we get funding, they're all working to make sure that we can also provide some recommendations so that when the policy changed next year, around March timeframe, I believe is when it's supposed to go live. When that change comes down, we will have added our impacts, and so hopefully when they do those reassessments and those changes, that it will provide some sort of incentive for how we get funding for our airmen. For example, maybe instead of doing the BAH calculations the way that they do, potentially looking at how they calculate pay and BAH for airmen that are overseas. On the medical side of it, instead of having airmen go out for every visit to these providers out in the network, maybe having a mobile or a traveling medical team that comes from Edwards and travels to 2 other or 3 other locations in the region, and then just kind of does that on a periodic basis, so that they're coming to our airmen, so saving them some money on that side of things. So there are several things that are under works or being reviewed, and we hope to have in the near future a better response or a better answer as to how any changes that are going to come will impact our airmen and make things better for us. So we are absolutely tracking, but I wouldn't count on an assignment incentive pay in the form of the AIP that we were anticipating earlier on in the year.
Thanks so much for that update, Chief. That's a lot of effort, a lot of avenues to get after closing a gap, that is perceived, and there's data to back it up, but finding the right avenue and the right advocacy above the wing is important.
It is. Yes, sir.
Thanks for those efforts that I know you have taken personally, but the update you've provided our audience today.
Yes, sir.
All right.
What else do we have going on? There's something coming up soon that slips my mind. I do know that we recently had our Squadron boards at the wing level, and so we will definitely be providing you all the winners on that fairly shortly. Maybe we can get a phone a friend to send us those so that maybe we can provide that before this broadcast is over. But we do have the results of those, and those have not been shared. And so we will definitely get that to the population here shortly.
And the Squadron is named after, it's an award, leadership award,
sir,
I believe.
It is a leadership award.
Named after Captain Lance P. Squadron.
Correct.
I lived in Squadron Hall at the Air Force Academy, so I recall learning a little bit about Captain Squadron and Medal of Honor winner from Vietnam, prisoner of war, had escaped capture, was recaptured, unfortunately perished under captivity in Vietnam, but a leader among leaders, and had that reputation, as a pilot, as an airman, even as a cadet, and what I recall, or what I take away most about his story, which is an awesome one for anybody that wants to learn that aspect of our Air Force history. The word that comes out to me is courage. He was courageous. Definitely, an attribute that I think is common across the military services. It's not one of our 3 core values that the Air Force professes, but I think it's ingrained in service and in the armed forces, right, of being courageous. So
no, that's huge. I think that's a huge point, because leadership in itself takes courage. Leadership is not easy. It is something that you have to continually work at. And you can't, like I told the Master Sergeant Selects, you can't just read one book and take one leadership CBT or course and think that you're going to be an excellent leader and that you've got it all under wrap. It requires continual working at it, continual practice, I should say. You take and you adopt things from the people that inspired you as leaders, and you craft those and make them your own, and you tailor it to your own style of leadership, if you will. And not everybody is seeking to be an effective leader. Some people get a position or a certain rank and they feel like, well, I'm leadership at this point, you must respect me, and it does not work like that. And so the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to get it wrong and make mistakes, I think those are all valid points when it comes to leadership. Yeah. And not everybody wants to open themselves up to that, but that's absolutely what we need from everybody as they take on these new ranks and these new roles. And so that award, it embodies somebody who has epitomized or demonstrated that's what they're trying to do. And so that's a good point, sir, as
Yeah.
far as the courage is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes we think of courage in the military. You might think of a combat situation or face of enemy fire. However, for most of us, that's unlikely.
Right.
That we'll see the enemy that closely. It's very likely that we'll need to practice being courageous every day within our work sections, to promote the environment where every airman is, has the dignity and respect they deserve,
That's
right? And so being courageous sometimes is, having a, maybe not the most popular opinion of the day, but doing the right thing because it's the right thing. So I think it's definitely one of those values we should talk about and celebrate within the armed forces, and that leadership award is one way to do it.
Well, I think we have the perfect segue. It looks like we have our winners. So, having just talked about leadership, this leadership award, and the courage that it takes, we'd like to announce here right now, live on our town hall, who we've boarded and selected as the Wings Saigon winners for this year. So, sir, I'll let you do the top two categories, and then I'll take the second two.
All right. For our senior officer category, our field grade officer category, we have Major Christopher Thorne from the 412th Electronic Warfare Group. So awesome.
Woo! Clap out there in virtual land amongst yourselves.
And in our junior CGO company grade officer category, it's First Lieutenant Jason Stedman from the 412th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. So, yeah, congratulations to those two, and we have more.
Yes, we do. So for the senior enlisted category for the Saigon this year, we have Master Sergeant Angelina Couch from the 412th Med Group. Woo! And our junior enlisted winner for the Saigon this year is Tech Sergeant Johnny Hakeem from the 412th Med Group. Woo! So congratulations to all of our winners, and it's an honor to serve alongside people who are going above and beyond and demonstrating kind of what we just talked about, that courage and just being the leader that our airmen need.
Yeah, absolutely. And while there's only 4 winners at the wing level, each of the groups and squadrons, there were numerous nominees, winners at those levels that competed for this award. So this is a big deal, and just demonstrates the talent that we have working here at Edwards Air Force Base.
It does, and kudos to the leadership and the supervisors that helped these individuals along the way and took the time to recognize them for their contributions. It really says a lot about their leadership as well. And so I'm happy that we were able to get those out there today. And so be on the lookout for your hardware. We will make sure that those individuals get those trophies to go along with that win. So.
Yeah, and best wishes to them as they compete at the next level.
Yes, sir.
So it'll go up to AFMC, I believe, from here. So.
Yes, sir. Do we have any other questions out there in virtual land? If so, 707-412-8922. And so far we do not. So I guess now you're stuck telling us what you're doing for the weekend, aside from the Light Up the Night event that we're all going to.
Right.
So you're not doing anything.
I need to get some exercise. So to work. So that's this. The Light Up the Night event. It falls directly into that.
In line.
Make sure to enjoy the exercise. It's going to be a warm one. So I think hitting the pool or a beach would definitely be in order. So that may
Yeah.
be on the agenda list too.
Not bad to have on the list.
Yeah.
Find a way to stay cool if you're going to get out and about. Wear some sunscreen. Get you some sunglasses and try to stay cool. Oh, sir, look, we have an announcement that we almost forgot about.
Yes.
Something's coming up on 1 July.
Right. So next week, 1 July, that's next week.
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
It is.
Next week, 1 July, is a family day. In anticipation of the 4th of July federal holiday. So as a family day, we will not have the town hall. So we definitely want to get out the message. And you probably have seen some of this. Hopefully you've seen it in some other PA post or social media post. But the Summer Bash this year will be on 1 July, Friday, 1 July, at Wings Field, beginning at 5 p.m. We'll have live music, and of course the finale will be fireworks.
Yes, sir.
Kind of an early start to a 4th of July weekend. So our fireworks show here at Edwards will be on Friday, 1 July. But come out beforehand, and there'll be a lot of activities to enjoy, including live music there at Wings Field. So hope to see you there.
Absolutely. That should be a good time. Can't bring my dogs, though. They do not take well to the fireworks. And from what I understand, not many dogs do, so they're not alone in that one. So maybe we need to get some headgear, some kind of ear protection for them so that they're not traumatized for the next 2 days after the fireworks. But yeah, it should be good.
It will be grand, I am sure.
Well,
it was very nice last year, and I'm sure FSS is always looking to one up
the following year, the
performance.
previous year.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I bet they are. Oh, look! So I almost forgot. There will also be the kids parade on 1 July that morning at 0900. So if you have little ones, or if you just want to get some exercise, there's another opportunity for you to get out and stretch your legs and join in on the kids parade at 0900. So look for the details on location and join us all for that as well. We got a lot of goodness coming.
Yes, absolutely. It like we started out with, it makes the days and weeks fly by when they're just jam-packed full of fun activities and great airmen and a great mission that we're supporting. So
Yes, sir.
good times.
Well, I guess that kind of concludes what we have for today. I don't think we're going to get any questions.
All right.
If you want to just let everybody know that we want them to have an awesome weekend and come out for Light Up the Night. And
Yeah, absolutely. Please join us for Light Up the Night and supporting our teens and families here on base tomorrow evening. Have a safe weekend, and since we will not be broadcasting next Friday, enjoy your 4th of July as well, and that long weekend and all the travel opportunities that
yes,
that this summer brings. We hope that they're enjoyable and safe for each and every one of you.
yes, be safe, please.
All right.
And we'll see you back the week after.
Absolutely.